What is Zion averaging this year? He's gonna average 22 points a game again.
I think he's gonna average more.
I hope so, man, because he's a first overall pick. To be in year 6, averaging 22 points a game is crazy. He played 70
But
plus games.
he looks great this season, man.
I hope
Like,
so.
yeah, I mean, how long we haven't seen that in forever.
We seen that last year.
Nah, he wasn't great last year. Health wise, he wasn't great. He came in overweight.
Yeah, but how did he play 70 games then? 70 plus games.
Bro, he played himself into shape.
Yeah, but he didn't play good, man.
No, he didn't play good.
Shaq
but,
played himself into shape and made the All-Star game. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
the way he played, like it took him what towards April to finally play good. That's not a good look.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. It's
Like he
6
showed
years
he's not a
in.
guy who can play himself into shape. He has to be a guy who has to remain in shape like 12 months out the year.
Yeah, it's 6 years in,
Yeah,
and
but
my
I think
man's
he could
averaging
make the All Star
22 a
team this
game.
year.
Like think about what you're saying. 6 years in, shows up out
Yeah,
of shape, averaging 22 a game. If his
but
name
this
wasn't
was his
Zion,
weakest.
like we would be talking very different.
Well, you think we'll talk bust? I don't think we
No,
could
we
talk
wouldn't say
bust.
bust, but we would say fucking up. Like the conversation would be different. Like
Yeah,
it's
one hundred
just
percent, dude. I mean, think about it like this: a 4 point drop he had is not a good look.
yeah, 70 plus games. So let's say he qualified for all NBA. He qualified for any individual awards. That's how many games he played. He qualified for
Yeah,
all that, and he averaged
yo, one hundred
22 a
percent.
game.
He had an underachieving season, but I think this season he could like work his value up, and I think that's what he's gonna do. I think Zion's came in much healthier. I think the team is a much better team for him. He won't have the response like he'll have the ball in his hands. He'll get the ball in his hands. I think it'll be a much unselfish game.
Now you think DeJounte Murray is now the point guard of the team, or it's just him and CJ?
I think it has to be DeJounte and Zion.
Yeah, because I don't know what about this team, why they played Murray and CJ. That sounds horrible
No, it's a
in the
bad
backcourt.
mix. I think it should be Zion and Murray. Hand passes. To be honest with you,
You mean like started off like a 2-man game?
yeah, I think those two would be better in a 2 man game.
But that's the thing though. Nobody has to respect the Zion role. Like or the Zion's always gonna roll like forward. He's never gonna like pop out.
Yeah, but he's a playmaker, right? So he can create opportunities for your shooting, like for your 3-and-D guys. Like he'll open up shots for other players.
It's true, yeah, he's gonna have a gravitational pull towards him. But you know, this Zion thing, man, 6 years in, I gotta say, it's compared to the hype, it's kind of
There's a
underwhelming.
letdown. There's a letdown for sure, but he's still only like 24, so he has a long career ahead of him.
I hope so, man, because the more years that go by, it's just to me, it just means more injuries.
100%. I get you on that, but I think like a large portion of his like question marks have been injuries, right? So I think this season he's coming in much healthier. He's coming in lighter. He looks better. He played the preseason like only 2 quarters, 16 points. He had a good like first preseason game.
Yeah, but you know what's interesting though? You look at the Knicks, they drafted RJ Barrett in that same draft, but yet they were able to pivot off of him and actually build a team to contend. But
Yeah,
imagine had they gotten Zion. That means like right now they would be stuck building some sort of clunky roster around him instead of just moving forward.
yeah, 100%. But I also think Zion and Brunson, right, would have been a crazy duo. I think it would have been a lot better duo, to be honest with you.
But I don't think they could have built a team anywhere near where they're at right now if Zion was in New York. It wouldn't even
Yeah,
be close.
I agree with you on that.
Yeah, it wouldn't even be close. Sometimes a star player can hinder a franchise. Like them trying to build around them is just like
Yeah,
it's clunky. Like the Pelicans,
but
it looks like they've been struggling with that. Even the Murray trade, it's still clunky. Now CJ Murray, and then before you had like
that's the
no
front
real
office problem,
scores.
bro.
Yeah, and then the Ingram thing. Like the Pelicans, they're too caught up in getting the best option available instead of what fits with their team. So Ingram, after the first year when Alonzo Ball was there, Ingram should have got traded, man. I don't know if he could did a sign and trade or something, or if he was extension eligible, but they should have moved off of him.
Yeah.
They waited too long. And I don't know what they were thinking because a Zion Ingram fit, that doesn't even sound right. Like,
No, it's ugly.
like that's almost like playing Bam with AD at the same time. Like for a full 82 games. Like those are our starters, Bam and AD. It's like you have the same thing. Like,
Yeah. No, they're a weird roster, bro. That's the problem with the Pelicans since I think the inception of the team. They've been a weird roster and they haven't been healthy.
yeah, that health is I don't know, for the new generation, health seems like a big factor in them kind of leveling up.
I mean, you can say the same for LaMelo Ball and the Charlotte Hornets.
Now with the Charlotte Hornets, if Melo Ball doesn't stay healthy this season, it looks like the team, it could go to Brandon Miller.
It's going to Brandon Miller.
Yeah, it could go to Brandon Miller.
I like him a lot better.
But LaMelo got some things to prove. It's a little bit beyond the individual play style. He kind of plays.
I mean, dude,
Jalen
his peers
Green.
are passing him up.
Yeah, they're passing him up, but like with LaMelo, you can see the talent is there. It's just the way he's translated to the game, but also the fact that he got drafted to the Hornets, who don't necessarily have an identity. They're just drafting the next best available. But
is that a good excuse? Because like, okay, let's look at
Yeah, but let me ask a question. Had LaMelo been on, let's say, I don't know, a more responsible team like the Spurs or any other team with a vision, you think he would still be playing the way he's playing?
But dude, look at Tyrese Halliburton, drafted in the Sacramento Kings, gets traded. Okay, so like he's had a rocky point since coming into the league. We could bring him up. Another one we could bring up is Anthony Edwards. The Timberwolves are in a situation that you just highlighted closer to the Zion Williamson situation where Karl Anthony Towns wasn't able to lead this team to a good record, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so what? These guys weren't in ideal situations, but they've been able to like flip it around, whether it's front office and they themselves their game and their availabilities, and I could say even maturity, they've been able to flip it around.
Yeah, but the Hornets just, you seen their coach last season. He was complaining about them not even playing defense, not even attempting to play defense. It's just like if LaMelo Ball went to the Miami Heat, you know, or he went to the Golden State Warriors, or he went, I can't even say the Warriors. He went to a team with an identity.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is a lot of these guys went to teams with no identity, right? And they've been able to make the most of it. So how much can you really blame identity? I just blame the player more at that point.
I still blame the franchise because the Hornets just have too much, historically, having no direction. It's been too long. Like even right now with them having Brandon Miller, what's his name, the number 0 on the team, Miles Bridges, and LaMelo. What direction are they? You can't even say what direction are they trying to head right now. It doesn't even look like they're trying to build around those guys. It looks like they're just playing just to play, and then hopefully they land on a lottery. That's what it looked like.
I think they could be a play-in team, to be honest with you, bro.
Man, I don't even think, bro. It don't look like. Have we seen?
I mean, can you name 10 teams better? Like what's it called? Okay, I can name like 8 teams better maybe, but I don't know about 10. And I think they could probably even sneak in.
Man, what are you talking about? The Hornets? The Hornets are like in that Washington Wizards, Detroit Pistons pool.
No way, man. I think they're better than those
man. Look at last season. They won only 21 games.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm saying it's like that was without LaMelo Ball, their franchise player. But I'm saying it's with their franchise player, 2 lottery pick players, bro. Like no way I put them in the same category as the Pistons and the Wizards.
Man, I got them fighting for a play-in seed at number 10 or 9.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But it's just we never got that vibe from the Hornets. Like, yo, we're trying to compete, and make the playoffs and do this that you never really get that. It's almost like they're just playing just to play. They're just playing just to play.
Yeah.
There's no real sense of direction. Like, yo, they got rid of a couple people last season, but I don't know. It's just you don't really see the direction. It just looks like we're doing what the Pistons do. Next best player available, and then we'll make it work afterwards. But we need to get
that's
the
exactly
name.
what it is.
Like Miles Bridges, why? To me, they should have never re-signed him. It's not even he doesn't deserve the money or anything like that. It's just they should have just used the space to kind of figure out how to build around LaMelo and Brandon Miller.
Because but they didn't sign him for crazy. They signed him for an affordable deal. So like, what's the point? Like, why wouldn't you just re-sign him if you could get him on an affordable deal?
Yeah, I still feel like they could have did something better with that money. Like for example, like they could have found like a Josh Hart archetype. Like, look how Josh Hart, when he first came to the Knicks, a player that it was basically a journeyman. He came to that team, even though that team had a highly disciplined coach. You know, they had Brunson, they had good leadership. Yo, he impacted that team like crazy. So can you imagine if the Hornets actually went out and got a player like that, like a Marcus Smart?
But they wouldn't know how to
archetype?
use him. A guy like Josh Hart, they wouldn't know how to use him. Like, that's just what it is. Like, you're talking about an incompetent team. But the thing with Miles Bridges is he's talented, right? Like, he's one of the more talented players. But the thing is, he can't get his head right. So, like, why not keep at him, right? And they got both parties got nothing to lose. I think Miles will probably get less money from another franchise. And the Hornets, they're not getting any better talent.
Yeah, it's just the Pelicans were originally the Hornets, and then the Hornets got a new expansion team, right? Something like that.
It was the Hornets were an original team in the 90s. But then they went to New Orleans, and then the Bobcats were formed.
Yeah.
Now, yeah.
So the Hornets, and Jordan was there for so many years, nothing happened.
Yeah. Now it's like some real estate Mongols, or I don't know, Mughals, I believe.
Yeah, Moguls.
They own it.
Yeah, the Moguls out there, they probably want to get their money back. They spent, I think, like almost $3 billion on that team.
Yeah, everyone's spending a bill on these teams, bro.
Yeah, but
that's the crazy these mediocre franchises are getting expensive bill on.
Yeah, but now, like, eventually these guys are gonna want their money back.
Well, I mean, dude, who wouldn't, right?
No,
you want
eventually not necessarily get their money back. They want to be profitable. I should say that.
100%, and that's why they invested in a new like front office and new head coach. I actually like their new head coach. It was the guy from the Charles Lee from the Celtics run.
But I don't know the LaMelo Ball experience. I just say like they don't have enough around those guys. Like look at the difference with Wemby and San Antonio.
Yeah.
They're picking up Harrison Barnes. They're getting CP3. You could tell that they're now. It's not necessarily about the talent, even though these guys are past their prime. It's about putting Wemby in a framework where he has to obey. Like, yo, stop. You can't really fuck up on these stupid turnovers no more. We're trying to win the game, while at the same time you're trying to get your same 20 points per game or whatever you got, but at the same time you're trying to put it around a winning framework. Like, that's the part LaMelo Ball is missing, and Brandon Miller to a degree. Even though this is only his second year, this is what they're missing around them. Guys are gonna kind of put their feet to the fire. Yo, get your 20 points per game this way.
That's why you bring in a guy like Grant Williams, and you bring in a guy like Seth Curry. And Grant Williams, he was respected in the Celtics run, right? So he's clearly a guy and I think he's one of the heads of the NBA like union. What's the NBA union called, bro?
Yeah, you're right. He is one of the reps, but I don't know. They're just missing. They're missing something because they're missing a framework. You can see it's almost like a house with no foundation. They just start building random shit. And it's not even gonna hold up.
Like, I do like their veteran signings. I can't lie to you. I think Seth Curry, a guy that's from there. Grant Williams is also from Charlotte. Those guys don't make a difference, especially with keeping like kind of the locker room together, which they've been missing forever.
It's just damn. Even Michael Jordan couldn't save that franchise. I don't know.
Man, Michael Jordan, that's the same guy who drafted Kwame Brown.
Hmm.
Let me see. Where is the Hornets right here? So yeah, I mean, dude, I think Taj Gibson, those guys are gonna be good locker room guys that you want. I mean, Taj Gibson, you saw him in New York. He was able to help the locker room big time.